Thank you, Tim. Thank you guys for being here. I know Rachel hit on this already, but your just coverage of our sport means a lot to all of us. So, also want to do a special thank you to Mitch Barnhart. As we're sitting here, and it's been a couple of years since we've done this in person, and when I think about maybe almost where we were 2 years ago to where we're at now, and I think we can all agree that the job Mitch and his staff has done to put us in these positions to even be here, they deserve a lot of credit. So thank you for them. And thank you to Matt. Tim just mentioned Matt for all he does. So you guys know this about me. It's more than just baseball for me. We talk about the student, the person, player. A couple things about our team. This past fall, we had a 3.69 team GPA. Extremely proud of our guys for that. That not only was our highest ever in program history, it was the highest in the entire department, both men's and women's teams. And I don't know if that has ever happened before or would ever happen again. So we had 15 guys with a 4 or higher. So our guys are just continue to be committed to the classroom. So thank you to Michael Stone and our CATS folks and our Student Athlete Experience Division. Just so many people that go into that. And ultimately our guys were the ones that did the work. So proud of them for that. What about the makeup? Our team is like people. They are super competitive. This is a uber competitive group that I just love being around, and I think our staff would echo the same thing. But we've been indoors quite a bit lately, so we've done some of our live batter pitcher confrontations, and to see the trash talking and to see them go at each other in a good internal competitiveness has been good. So, and we'll get to the player part. A staff update, we do have a new coach. Nick Amarati takes over as our volunteer coach. Those of you that know Todd Williams was with us, and thank you for his time. He is now the full-time coach at Utah. So Nick Amarati is a former player of mine, much like Coach Cog, and I coached him at Mississippi State. So I think that just means I'm getting older, that I have 2 former players on staff. Nick Amarati is a winner. He's won at every level. He is in high school. He won a state championship. He won a national championship in high school, and he was a starting catcher on our 2013 national championship team. So he will slide over and coach third base. He's going to work with our catchers, and Coach Coggin will slide over to the dugout. So can't say enough good things about Nick and how good it's for him and his wife to be here with us. So. Couple things, season tickets, they're on sale. Single game tickets went on sale today. Go to UK. We guys need your help on this, but ukbaseballtix.com. If you can help spread that word for us, that would be awesome. And looking forward to filling up Kentucky Proud Park. Couple marketing notes. Greg Herbert does our marketing, does an awesome job. If you guys could also help spread the word that youth teams, they get discounts. So I think you guys know how important baseball in this city and state are, but this is an opportunity for us to get them coming to Kentucky Proud Park. So those tickets are available at a discounted rate. SEC games, we'll have some giveaways. So Greg's been working on some of those. So we'll give out some aviators, beach balls, umbrella hats, aprons for tailgate, drink bats, and all those kind of things. So do that. We do want to encourage our fans to tailgate too, much like a football game. There's an awesome tailgating experience that is welcome at Kentucky Proud Park. Matter of fact, bring your cornhole sets. This is a really neat deal we got going on. For UK students, we're actually going to have an opportunity for every SEC game for them to win $5,000 in cash in a cornhole toss. So they can bring their cornholes and do a lot of practice outside the stadium and get a chance to win some cash. So, all right, let's get to the team. We're made up of 9 seniors. So we are an experienced team. We're older. I always talk about pitching and defense. Last year I told you guys that we needed to be better defensively, and we were. We set the school record for fielding percentage. We've been playing baseball over 120 years, and we had the highest fielding percentage, and I fully anticipate for us to be a really good defensive team as well. Coach Moselle leads our pitching staff. He's done a great job from a standpoint of they consider themselves the tip of the spear. And I'm excited about our pitching staff. This is the first time that we actually have pitching experience, maybe as much since most we've had since 2018. So I'm excited about that. We returned every single SEC win on the mound. So all of our SEC wins, they're all back, which is obviously something that I've never been a part of before. So the experience will be there. I love the fact that our pitching staff has different pieces. We have different arm angles. We have different arm slots. We have 4-seam guys, 2-seam guys, all these different types of pitches that I'm excited about. And it, obviously gives me a lot of peace heading into the season with those guys. Positional players will look a little different. As you guys know, we've lost some key pieces. And last year we talked about how we were speed and we were going to utilize that. We actually led the Division I out of all teams that had 50 stolen bases or more, our stolen base percentage. So we will have some guys that can steal some bases, but this year's team will be more a group of guys that will just grind out quality at-bats and do a really good job with the strike zone and just have the pure hit tool. I'm just excited about some of the guys we have there. And Coach Coggin and Nick Amarati have done a phenomenal job. Those two guys have worked together. Their camaraderie has been fun to watch and just to be a part of. So couple leaders. Jake Placiak has really taken a leadership role for us. Cole Stupp and Darren Williams, who I'll talk about in a second. So and there's been many other guys, but those three guys have really stood out, even from the vocal standpoint. So baseball, much like other sports on our campus, we have taken advantage of the transfer portal. I call it the portal power. We actually brought in 8 guys out of the portal, 4 pitchers, 4 positional players. We brought in left-hand pitcher Tyler Bosma from Miami of Ohio. We brought in EKU's Friday night guy. His name is Darren Williams. He's actually from Maysville, Kentucky. So good to have him here. We brought in Mag Cotto from South Carolina. He's a left-handed pitcher. And we brought in Tyler Guilfoyle from right here in town. Went to Lafayette, who was at Lipscomb. So excited about all 4 of those arms, and all 4 of those guys will have significant innings for us. And then on the positional player side, we brought in 4 guys there too. Adam Fogel from Hawaii, who was a second-team all-conference player for them. He'll play in the outfield. We brought in Danny Harris from EKU. He was their starting second baseman. He was the preseason OVC Conference Player of the Year from a year ago, so he'll play second base. Hunter Jump, we brought in from Arizona State. He's a career 300 hitter in the Pac-12, so counting on him and his bat. And then John Thrasher, who was the American East Conference Player of the Year and preseason third-team All-American. So when I think about our team, I think about that makeup is going to be made up of 8 guys from the transfer portal. And Josh Walker, our athletic trainer, told me the other day, he's like, Coach Mitch, I think we hit a grand slam in the portal. And so those guys will play significant roles. On the mound, just to mention some of the guys, Cole Stupp is back. He was our Friday night guy from a year ago. I just call him Mr. Consistency. He's just the same guy, but also the same player. He had 8 quality starts last year, where he had at least 6 innings pitched and 3 or 4 runs. So just proud of him, the growth he's made with his delivery, with his velocity, the leader he's been. So excited about him. Sean Harney's back. A lot of you guys remember him. He set the school record. Well, he's actually not the school record. He's the first guy ever in program history to have 6 saves and start 6 games. When we lost Mason Hazelwood last year to injury, we brought Sean out of the bullpen and used him as a starter. So he is just super talented. Daniel Harper's back. He's got 74 career appearances, so he'll lead that bullpen from an appearance standpoint. Mason Hazelwood is back from his injury. We expect to have him back for the beginning of the year, recovering from his Tommy John. He'll start out in the bullpen, maybe just smaller stints, and we'll just see where the season goes with him. Zach Lee started all 14 weekends for us, so he's back on the mound too. So we had a ton of time invested in him. And Alex Deegan is one of the guys. He's got 32 career appearances. He'll throw out of the bullpen for us. He's actually involved as our spiritual leader, and he's the 2-time SEC Community Service Award winner. Just a great guy. Excited about him. And then really last year, you guys probably remember, we had 4 freshmen that threw 14 innings or more, which is a lot for our league. And Seth Logue, Ryan Hagenow, Wyatt Hudipult, and Austin Strickland are all back, and they're improved. So feel really good about those guys that we mentioned. Positionally, start with Ryan Ritter, preseason All-American, wizard at shortstop. I mean, there's not a day that goes by that he doesn't keep impressing us. And I don't know why we keep getting impressed, because he's amazing. But the part with him that's improved the most is the offensive tool. He was 4th in the league in hitting this summer in the Cape Cod League. So excited to welcome him back. And then Jake Placiak really is the alpha male of the group. He's going to slide over and he'll be our first baseman. What Jake says goes. That guy is basically, in a lot of ways, running not only our positional players, but in a lot of ways running our team. So extremely appreciative of his leadership. The most improved guy from a year ago for me is J.C. Steph. I mean, he is just, when you think about like mentally, physically, when you guys see him, what he's done with his body, he looks incredible. Behaviorally, what he's done offensively, he is a special player, and looking forward to a big year, and just proud of the growth that he's made. Rajanu's back. You remember him from left field and DH. So he's a guy that we're ready for him. This is his year. We're ready for him. He's gotten better in all areas. And then last couple of guys, Alonzo Rubalcaba. You remember him behind the plate. He's just a special receiver and thrower. He can really impact the game from there. And Kirk Liebert is a guy that's also shown some growth. He's caught. He'll play some outfield. He's been a really good utility guy for us. And then Ruben Church, a lot of you remember him. He started out on fire last year, ended up having a wrist injury. He missed the fall due to surgery, but he's back and healthy, so excited about him. And then Nolan McCarthy and Devin Burks are two redshirt guys that will be available. So Tim mentioned our schedule. That's the life in the SEC. That's the life of an SEC baseball coach. We all have difficult schedules, and they're filled with ranked teams. And I'm looking forward to that. We open up at Jacksonville State in Alabama in 2 weeks. We welcome TCU at home, March 4th through 6th, so they're returning the trip. We went down there a couple of years ago, and they'll be coming back. And then we open up SEC play at defending SEC champion Arkansas. So to all alumni, it's been really neat. Now that you can have some guests back, we've had so many alumni come back, and it's been neat because this is their program. I started listing all the guys like Colin Cowgill, A.J. Reed, Sawyer Carroll, Marcus Snyderford, Carson Coleman, Sean Jelly, Zach Thompson, Zach Brown, Logan Salo, Zach Logue, Michael Thomas, Riley Mahan, Evan White, Bennett Klinsky, Justin Lewis, T.J. Klett, Austin Schultz, John Rhodes, Ho Jones. All these guys have been able to come back within the past year. So it's been really good to see them and to see their growth. And because, that's been hard. That was hard for a year ago, not being able to see those guys. And much like not being able to see you guys in person. So thankful you're here. Would love to answer any questions. I know that's a lot of information.
Coach, so you mentioned how you feel like you're going to find success with how you approach the transfer portal this year, and then you mentioned their baseball acumen, but what kind of person were you trying to look for in the portal to add to your team?
Yeah, so that's one neat thing about the portal is like as soon as their name's in there, you can call them. Mm-hmm. So we've spent a lot of time talking on the phone, and what's been really neat too is like the other college coaches, like we're all open to phone calls. So it's been really neat for us to call some of those other schools like, hey, what do you got? What is it, right? To try to find a real story. They're doing the same for us, So obviously it starts with the athletic ability, but to your point, like we want to have good competitive people that understand like, hey, when you come to Kentucky, you're going to be loved, but also you'll be held accountable. So like you don't get to just miss a class or do what you want from those standpoints. Like there are standards like that we're going to have and how hard we're going to push you in the weight room and on the field. So we just want guys that are committed to getting better in all areas of their life. Like that's really important to us.
Nick, this is going to be, I think, the 4th year in a row you've got a new first baseman on opening day, if memory serves. And last year's third base was a bit of a revolving door as well. How confident are you about your corner infielders going into this season?
Yeah, well, Jake Placiak, he'll play first base, and I would say for us to be at our best defensive team is with Steph at third base. So, he's just a special defender there. So, if those two guys end up playing those spots, Chase might have to slide over to second base some, which we saw last year, depending on what happens with injuries and everything else. But our best defensive team is Steph at third base and Ritter at shortstop.
You talked about Chase mentally, and last year you lose focus every once in a while. How has he changed mentally? How has he improved?
Well, it started with his body. Like when you see him, you're gonna go, wow. Like it started with his body, and he is like totally transformed the way he looks, and it's huge credit to him. He spent all summer and all fall getting better at that, and I think we all know like when your body's in good shape, that actually helps. So and then offensively, I challenged him this summer when he left this summer. I said, Chase, when you go away this summer, I challenge you to find your best swing, like yours, no one else's. Like what is it? And to his credit, like he went and worked and he figured out what works best for him, and even now to this day, it's like he is so coachable. Like Dick, you should see him. Like he takes swings in the cage, and Coach Amarati and Coach Coggin are on the same page, and they watch video, and they got the iPads right there, and they'll take swings in the cage, and he'll look at it, and he's just so coachable. But he understands what his body's doing now, and he understands, So whatever they have for him, it's like bam, he can fix it. And I'm just so proud of him because even from just a leadership perspective, and his voice is heard. Like, he is like, I cannot tell you, and I hope I'm doing a good enough job explaining how much this guy has grown in all areas. I'm excited to watch him play this year.
Nick, I know you and this staff and this team is hungry to get back to the postseason. Do you feel like there's any sort of pressure, though, to get back to your first tournament since 2017?
Yeah, I wouldn't say pressure. That's our expectation. Like, we want to do things that have never been done before. So, that's the one thing I'll give this team credit for is they want to win. Like, it doesn't matter. They're coachable. You can get on them. You can ride them. You can love them. Whatever. Like, they are committed to winning, and that's been fun. That's been fun to coach. Like, I can tell you, I cannot wait to get in that dugout and just watch them compete. And I would say I probably have said less this year to any team than I've been here because of the leadership of Cole Stupp and Placiak and some of these guys. Like, they're handling a lot of the stuff that, maybe I would have been doing before some of the other coaches, but they want to win. And they're not the only three guys, right? Like, they all want to win. And so that is our full expectation is to not only make the postseason, but to go on a run.
Coach, you got two guys in Fogel and Harris are expected to miss the season opener. Can we get a quick update on when you expect for them to come back and how that's going to affect the lineup?
Yeah, good question. So, at the end of the fall, as you mentioned, Adam Fogel and Danny Harris, if the season has started at the end of the fall, they're in our starting lineup. They're playing. But they're close. I think they're closer than we thought, even maybe a week ago. So this weekend, they'll get some more action and progress. And, one of them is now going to be able to hit live off an arm, like a coach, a VP arm. And one of them's already doing that. So there's a chance to where they might end up making their way in there come opening day. And there's a chance that maybe they don't. But I think we're a lot better shape than we were maybe even 7 days ago.
So if you could talk about John Thrasher, just what he brings to this team, whether it be at the plate, on the base paths, or in the field.
John Thrasher is just, his speed is game changing. He stole 37 bases last year. I want to say he was 1 or 2 in stolen bases per game in the country. He was right up there. But his speed is just game changing. So in center field, he is our best defensive center fielder, hands down. The amount of ground he can cover, do that, and then his ability as soon as he gets on first base, like within a pitch, boom, he has a chance to be standing on second base. He's going to be able to score on base hits from second base. He's going to be able to go first to third. He's going to be able to score from first. His speed is game-changing speed, and it really shows up on the bases and in the outfield.
And when you bring a guy like that from somewhere like Hartford, you bring him from the American East to the SEC, does it feel like you found like a diamond in the rough, so to speak, with the transfer portal?
Yes, and we do feel like we found a diamond in the rough, but at the same time too, this league is a real challenge, so it's different than anywhere he's been. So I think he would even tell you this fall's been an adjustment for him because of the quality of arms and just the speed of the game and everything else. It's like that is an adjustment in itself. But one thing I can tell you about like John and some of these other guys that have come from the transfer portal, they're just their maturity has just been so refreshing, and their desire to win and learn and grow and improve. Like Josh Walker was right. Like we hit a grand slam, and John's definitely one of those guys.
Coach, so you mentioned how Mason would be ramping up from the bullpen to start the year. So who do you think would, in your opinion, have first shots to slide up into the weekend starting spot?
Besides Stupp,
yeah,
there's Matt Cotto's a guy, Tyler Bosma's a guy. Those two guys from the portal have a chance to throw on the weekend. Zach Lee is in that mix, and there's a handful of other guys that are going for that too. And so I'll as always, I'll kind of let this last week play out and see. But Stupp is definitely one of those guys that has earned that spot for sure. Yeah.
What does this program and this team mean to you? And can you also speak to how much it means to the community and the connection there?
Yeah, well, I'll start to the community first. In our time here, since I've been here, we've set and broken the top 10 record crowds in the history of the program. So when you think about the people coming and showing up, and that just means the world to us. And we want to put a good product on the field where not only we're good at baseball, but we're good people. Our guys have given. I cannot tell you, in 1 year we gave over 500 hours of community service to this city. So our guys give back. And hopefully that it's working both ways. What does this program mean to me? It means everything. I wake up every day and this is what I think about. I think about how we can just keep advancing this program to do things that have never been done before. I just remember being here my first time, and I just shared the story last night at FCA, just sleeping on the couch in the locker room. You know, just going from sleeping on the couch in the locker room to now being here in this position. But it means the world, and there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about how I can just keep advancing this program to do things that I've never done before. And we've done that one year in 17, and now we're just ready to knock the door down and keep doing more. So, I appreciate this city and this community so much, the way they've just welcomed Kristen, Reeves, and I. Lexington's an amazing place to not only live, but to raise your kids. And it's just filled with just amazing people. And it's why we've had a lot of success when we bring recruits here, you know. And even when you think about that, our transfer class that we brought in is top 5 in the country. Because when people come and they see Mitch's vision for this department and what we're trying to do from a baseball program, it's been good.
One more.
Nick, the past couple of years, when things haven't gone as well as you thought they would, there was a lot of chatter out there. I know as a coach and as players, you got to put that out of your mind. You can't listen to any of that. But as fans of media, we have to listen to it. And there was a lot of negativity, a lot of people expecting you to crash and burn. What do you want to tell those people to make sure that they know that you've got this program back on the right track?
Yeah, you know, John, and you bring that up, and you know, Rachel just hit on it. Like when you're winning, it's like you don't hear about any of that. And quite frankly, when you're losing, you know, and you've lost games, it's like, and you haven't won as much as you'd like, that's part of it. And I think you see that not only in our sport, but you see that in other sports too. But I think the people that are on the inside that understand what's going on and like how we're trying to develop them and raise men and try to do good on the field as well. Like, I think those are the people that understand. And, you know, to those people, that I would just caution them to, like, hey, make sure you're talking to the people that are in our program too. Because I think they'll tell you about how they're treated and how they're loved and they're held accountable and how they're growing, you know. And you know what? You know, there's going to be people that say things good and bad. You have to be able to take both, because in 17, when we had that special year, it was like, whoa, I was SEC Coach of the Year and National Coach of the Year, and it's like, holy cow. You know, well, I'm still the same human being. Matter of fact, I'm probably a better coach now than I was then. So, you know, to those people, I would just say, keep sticking with us, because you're going to see, you know, on the field, and you'll see off the field the kind of people that we have in our program. And I want them to get to know them. You know, not the ones that are only leaving, but the ones that are here now, just to see how special these people are. And it's a special place, as you know, and we're filled with special people that can do, and we plan on doing special things. Yeah.
All right, thanks, Coach.